Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday to everybody. We've almost made it through another beautiful week. Uh, this is Mornings with Michael, not always in the morning. This is Mornings with Michael for information and educational purposes only. And so let me share some screens here. And it's mostly red, and I'll get to the reason in a little bit. Somebody that has been perpetuating the downturn move in the markets has reared its ugly or beautiful head, however you want to look at it, once again. So here you go. A lot of sea of red. We usually call this a heat map, but today it is a chill map. Yes, indeed. And if you don't want to worry about such things, we continually recommend you should get yourself a good annuity. Just show our example. Once you have your money in your annuity, you'll never lose money. Once it goes up a step in value, it will not come down that step. And right now, annuities are giving 40 to 45% bonuses. So on a $100,000 investment, that equates to actual $40,000 to $45,000 in your account. And index investing averages 7.57%, and annuity average annual growth is 12.58, about a 5% difference. So there we have that. And I just want to share this screen. We'll look at the cause of the markets retreating. Yes, bond yields are bouncing back up. They had a nice big pullback. This allowed the markets to trend upwards, and they did not like when this bounce had a big bounce over its 50-day moving average. This is a 10-year Treasury bonds yield. And let's take a look at, sure, there's a similar action in the 20-year. Yes, sir. They look almost identical. 20-year is back to 4%. And we can take our look back feature, look at yesterday. The 10-year Treasury bond yield was at 4.52. Today, it rebounds to 4.63, up 2.37%. Look at the dollar. Dollar is bouncing as well. It pulled back to its 50-day moving average, bounced a little bit, gapped up, and now it's held that gap, and it's trending even higher. So this is going to hurt the multinational companies who have to exchange your dollar for the currencies over there, or exchange the currencies into their dollar once they sell goods over there. And look at gold. Gold is actually bouncing up to its 20-day moving average. Silver tried to move up and then a big sell-off. Our Canadian miner keeps falling and falling. How far it can fall, we don't know, but it's cut in half its value that it was over here. Southern Copper is pulling back as well. And Freeport-McMoRan continues to trend lower as well as the dollar strengthens. So let's take a look at what's moving today. China's October CPI falls 0.1% month-over-month versus flat consensus. The bull bear spread at American Association of Individual Investors, AAII, Weekly survey was 15.4 versus negative 26 last week. Bulls rise to 42.6 from 24.3. Neutrals rise to 30.2 from 25.4, and bears fall to 27.2 from 50.3. That's a pretty big move. And maybe the market will do exactly the opposite, as sometimes it does. Federal Reserve Bank of Chicago, President Austin Googlesby, said that the U.S. Central Bank will need to pay close attention to the effects of higher long-term bond yields, is what we've been saying here all along, to make sure that they don't slow the economy more than expected over the coming year, the Wall Street Journal reported. And Fed's Harker repeats preference to hold rates steady. Rates should remain high as the inflation battle goes on. Does not see near-term rate cuts. Time to take stock of past rate hikes and their impact. Next Fed meeting can go either way. And now on to company news. Instacart, Q3 EPS loss $20.86 versus estimate of a loss of $12.97. And it's down a little over 10% on that news. And I'm not sure if we can see that really well, but look on the 60-minute. From the time it broke the news, it went down heavily. Lyft. We talked about this a little earlier. Yesterday, Q3 EPS 24 cents versus 13 cents. Adjusted EBITDA 92 million versus estimate 82.61 million. On revenues rose 10% year over year to 1.16 billion versus estimate of 1.142 billion. And still the shares dropped, didn't meet expectation. Earnings jumped 254%. IBD had a little different earnings surprise here yesterday, but was up earnings surprise of 65.86%. And on to MGM Resorts, Q3 adjusted EPS 64 cents versus 59 cents. Tried to rise. I believe maybe the yields had something to do with these stocks turning directions. Top Golf Callaway, Q3 EPS 20 cents versus estimate 12 cents. Huge gap down. Earnings came in negative 13% from prior quarter, even though it was an earnings surprise of 84%. Utz Brands, Q3 adjusted EPS 17 cents and revenues of 371.9 million versus estimate of 370. Tried to move higher, and like all the other stocks we've been looking at, sank to near its low. Beyond Meat, Q3 EPS loss $1.09 versus estimate of 89 cents. Once again, tried to move higher and sold off, and is on its lows. On to energy. Let's look at what the oil market did today. Tried to bounce and sold off. Atmos Energy, Q4 EPS 80 cents versus 72 cents, and retreated from its 200-day moving average. It did gap up from the previous stock price. Bloom Energy, another Bay Area company down in Fremont area. Q3 adjusted EPS 15 cents versus estimate 4-cent loss. Gapped up, but closed on the low of its gap. Be interesting to see if it can stay above this and trend sideways. Helmerich and Payne, Q4 EPS 77 cents versus estimate 75 cents. And and it tried to go up a little bit, but pretty much sold off most of the day. Onto financials. Affirm. We looked at some of the other solar stocks yesterday, and I typed this in wrong. Affirm just operating 60 million on revenues of 497 million, and unlike all the other, oh no, this is actually not solar. Apologize, this is financials. Affirm hit a new high. Relative strength line is breaking out against the S&P 500. It tried to break out and pulled back, but I would continue to watch this one. This looks very interesting. Cohen's and Steers preliminary assets under management 72.2 billion as of October 31st, 2023, a decrease of 3 billion. And the stock is pretty much it's continuing its downtrend. It tried to pop up, but it is continuing lower now. Investment Q3 EPS 56 cents versus 54, and that did not win the day. Earnings were up 24%. Earnings surprise of 72%. Finally, not finally, but FICO Fair Isaac Q4 adjusted EPS $5.01 versus $5.21. Even though they missed their estimates, they must have been managing expectations because this rose quite a bit. Sold off at the beginning and bounced off of its 10, 20, and 50-day moving averages on pretty high volume. And Fleet Core Q3 adjusted EPS $4.49 versus estimate $4.51. And this was not what people were expecting. On to healthcare, Jazz Pharmaceuticals Q3 adjusted EPS $4.84 versus $4.90. And it is selling off big time. Came in a negative 6% growth. That went down over 9%. Natera Incorporated operating income 111 million versus estimate 108.5, and it is gapping up, but it sold off probably on the bond yields. We'll have to blame it on once again. And Veristem Q3 EPS 75-cent loss versus 84-cent loss expected, and it's kind of falling to its declining 10-day moving average. And we'll look at my favorite as of the moment on biotech stocks in a little bit. Corteva Q3 adjusted EPS loss 23 cents versus estimate of 25. And no, that didn't win any hearts and minds either. Look at that big sell-off, huge volume, even though 87% increase in profit next year. And I guess they're all saying, prove it to me. Show me the money. Genpact Q3 adjusted EPS 76 cents versus 73 cents. And that didn't win the battle either. It gapped down 9% as it tried to recover. Spirit Aerosystems prices 9.09 million share secondary offering. Is down so much yesterday. I guess the secondary offering did win some hopes that they could grow the company. Transdigm Group said it agreed to buy electron device businesses from TJCLP's Communication and Power Industries for $1.39 billion in cash. The EDC makes components and subsystems for the aerospace and defense markets. And this was a big winner. Relative strength line at a new high and a huge gap up, and a finish very strong for the day. Virgin Galactic, Q3 net loss, 104.6 million, estimated loss 137.3, and people are cheering this. This is pretty low valued stock. It's really turned down. We'll see if it can recover as it bounces above its 50-day moving average. Onto technology, media, and telecom. Disney, Q4 adjusted EPS 82 cents versus 69. And a big gap up here, 173% increase in earnings. Earnings surprise of 15.5%. That does win the day. Media streaming sector with Para, Comcast, Rise, and better Disney results. There's Paramount Global, rising 2.62%. And Comcast actually declining. AppLovin, Q3 EPS 30 cents versus 27 cents. Tried to move higher and then pretty much flat, even though it says it's down 1.10%. Huge volume on the selling. Tried to move higher and sold off the rest of the day. Earnings increased 400%, but that was a negative earnings surprise of 56%. So you can see why that stock retreated. On to ARM Holdings. Recent IPO, gapping down. Q2 EPS 36 cents versus estimate 26 cents. This did not meet people's expectations, even though it was an earnings surprise of 41%. Duolingo, recent IPO. That EPS up 115%. Once again, expectations, even though it was a negative earnings surprise of 83.33%, it's gapping up on huge volume. 21% increase today. Don't you wish you had that right over here as it broke out of the double bottom formation? Look at the W over here. $162.30. It's a buy area, and it is now at $203.02. HubSpot, Q3 adjusted EBITDA 90.2 million versus estimate of 88.77, and this sold off. We're not sure if it's due to the bond yield or didn't meet expectations on the earnings call or guidance. Earnings surprise of up 28%. Ionic, Q3 EPS 22-cent loss versus estimate 18-cent loss, down 1.58%. Develops, this is for quantum computers. LiverAmp Holdings, Q2 EPS 43 cents versus 24 cents. And there is a big cheering squad for this one. Look at the relative strength, just zoom, new high, and look at that gap up. Important thing now is, can it hold this gap up? Continue to watch it if you weren't in it. Earnings up 95%. Earnings surprise of 76.03, or actually 09. On to Take-Two Interactive. It's working on the right side of a base. Looks like a flat base. Earnings came in a negative 6%, which was a 23.86, 24% beat estimates. Twilio Internet tried to move higher and sold off on adjusted Q3 EPS 58 cents versus estimate of 35 cents. And Snap is building the right side of a base. I guess people are cheering that they laid off nearly 20 product managers. The latest shakeup at the photo sharing app after several top departures over the last 3 months. And Google, LLC, Meta Platforms, and TikTok on Thursday, which face stricter rules by the Austrian regulators seeking to impose stringent regulations targeting illegal content on their digital platforms. And so that's all we have for the news. And let me just see what was trending for money managers other than what we've already taken a look at. ACI Worldwide develops software products, services for ATM. Huge buying. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of, I don't know, maybe the last 12 days buying in this. We looked at Duolingo, Cadre Holdings, earnings up 123%, 40% earnings surprise. Got a lot of blue bars over the way here. People are moving their money in there. Security and safety protection in and around hazardous or life-threatening situations. Ryanair. This must be the 3rd or 4th day in a row. Look at all this massive buying interest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 huge days in a row. Earnings up 51%. Stock is up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days in a row. And not just small gains, huge gains. Number of gap ups. We looked at Ramp, I believe. Looked at TDG, Lamb Weston, I believe. No, Limbach Holdings. Construction maintenance. Earnings came out at positive 79%. Number of buying days in a row here. Stock is up 18%. Looks like it's trying to come out. It's not quite out of a base. I guess this is the only day that you could really buy it out of that base if you were wanting to get into that. 140% earnings increase this year, another 11% up next year. Amphastar Pharmaceuticals, earnings came in at 203% better than the same quarter last. Amazing. $1.15 versus 38 cents. Earnings surprise of 65%. Cogent Communications, EPS, $1.20 loss, and it is still moving up like this. This is amazing. Their earnings are supposed to be up 19,248% this year. Well, they're not going to get it done in a quarter like this. So, and our last one is Uber, continuing its breakout today, double bottom base, $49.29 is a breakout area. Got huge volumes on its earnings. Another good volume here. We had a sell-off yesterday, but the stock didn't move anywhere, so there was a really equal number of people buying and selling. So that was a neutral day. What also was breaking out today, NVIDIA. This is one of the most important stocks in the world. Could have even had an early buy area. They had discussion about AI, how it's going to transform our world and all the products they have in store for it. The earnings are in 12 days, however, so you never know how people react to earnings. It's buy in the rumor and sell on the fact. So that's our report for today. This has been, I had promised. So let's take a look. BLTE continues to shine. Number of tight days in a row. As we remember, let me go back here for a weekly. Is right around 22. Yeah, right in this area. Let's see, what day would that have been? That would have been 8/11. So that was in August. You can do the look back. So here we were, had it on the show. Said we're in a pretty tight trading pattern. It's going to resolve itself one way or the other, either up or down. And we can just go forward. Sold off, pulled back, and zoom. How many days after we had this on the show was it? 1, 2, 3, 4. Broke out 5 days later. Went up to 26.85 and then 31.80. Had a bit of a consolidation after its move up to around 36. This is a shakeout, what we call shakeout +3. Shook a lot of people out, including me. Took my profits, bought at 22, sold up. I actually sold half of it up here, and the rest I got out here. And then I got back in a little later. So let's go look at the other one we looked at the same time. So we were looking at here. Said we got a tight action. It's going to resolve itself one way or the other. And unfortunately, it resolved itself downward. But we'll move forward to today. We had this on the show last week. maybe not last week, maybe it was just yesterday. It was this week anyway, when it broke out. It broke out right over here. Then it reports as the CEO has been buying shares in September. Not sure what's going on, but there's been a lot of buying volume as of late. And this is where we are today. So my goal is to get 5 to 10% position. We'll see if it outperforms, if it'll draw me in to do that. But that's that one. Looking at Meta, said it really likes hanging around this 300 area. Pull back to 279. Soon thereafter, it pops back to 300. It's doing pretty well. And CrowdStrike just continues to perform well. I got shaken out at I had a option at 155, got shaken out, and I'm just waiting to see if it's going to pull back to its 21-day moving average. And Zscaler was the other one I profiled at the same time. Still looks good. Maybe better wait to see if it'll pull back to its 21-day moving average. That's a green line here as well. And so that's our report for today. Hope you have a great day. Finish the week strong on Friday. Keep going after your goals and your activities. And you'll not only surprise yourself, but everyone else around you. If you have any need to get in touch with us to work on your financial goals, please send us communication and we'd be happy to continue that conversation. In the meantime, have a great weekend and we'll look forward to seeing you next time. This has been Mornings with Michael for information and educational purposes only. It is your responsibility to do your own due diligence.